Hello and welcome into Talk of the Town. As a lot of ground to cover this week and a lot of cool topics, and one that some people might think, well, that's not so cool. I think is really cool, as there's an arcade in town. Back in the 80s, that might not have been big news. It's big news right now, as we have Kyle here from Geeks Mania Arcade. Welcome on in, Kyle.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And so we got an arcade now in Madison. Why did you decide to open an arcade in Madison?
Really, it was just something originally that was out of necessity that my engineer and I started when we were looking for ideas to kind of make some money in our large space. And, we kind of thought, well, there's no arcades anywhere really anymore, and there's none doing retro and quarter style arcades. So we kind of started looking around, and, we all were big gamers when we were growing up. We remember the arcades, Aladdin's Castle. So we just kind of jumped on the idea, and it exploded much bigger and faster than we ever expected to do it.
Really
so,
great, because
yeah.
that's kind of what I'm expecting. Like, I'm thinking, okay, arcade, I got my quarters lined up, like on the game, that's my quarter up there is the third quarter in line, and
Right.
I'm ready to jump on a Dig Dug or,
Yeah.
Pac-Man, something like that. So talk about your arcade a little bit. Is that what I'm thinking of? Am I thinking right here?
Yeah, we're a quarter-driven arcade. All our machines are a quarter except for our pinballs, which vary from a quarter to 75 cents. And it's that style. We like to have that tournament feel. We have a 6-player X-Men that's got all that set up on it and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a lot of fun for that.
Love that kind of stuff. So as far as the other arcades in the area, I'm not sure how many that there are. What kind of sets you apart, do you think?
Our overall size right now, and then like how we're kind of catering. So we're really trying to make it a family-friendly environment, and we're really trying to stay away from these more barcades right now is what's kind of popping up, and
Right.
we're trying to go back to more of the 80s feel where you walk in, you can have a kid and just let them go loose and they can run around and have fun all day long.
That's what my parents would do to get rid of me for a little while. Here's $5, I'll see you in a couple of hours, make it last, kind of a thing. So you had to be pretty good at the games, to make that quarter go.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with the ideas, or at least the titles, the game titles that you were looking for? Where did you start with that?
We really wanted to stick more in like the 80s style games, but I also wanted to grab games that I remember from the 90s when I was, growing up and doing all that and going to the arcades in the Madison area. So I really jumped on, the classic titles like getting a Joust machine, stuff like that.
Nice.
But then we also went for, Cruisin' USA, Area 51s, stuff like that. And we're trying to get a DDR machine and kind of have those people in, and we really want to just try to get all the styles of arcades in there.
I'm guessing too, when you're doing something like that, there's got to be some major hurdles here. A lot of those games aren't really that available, right? What are some of the hurdles you had to jump over?
Finding them in working order. A big thing is a 30-year-old arcade with a CRT monitor tends to not stay working very long.
Right.
You're dealing with a lot of heat. They're old, they may not have been taken care of. So when you find them, from a person, you're selling it on Craigslist or something like that, you don't know what you're getting into, but you still may need the title really bad. So when we jumped on some of them, you're yanking them out of a basement, you end up hurting them. So we have 2 engineers on site that do a lot of work to keep the games up and running, and I'm one of the guys that works on a lot of them too. So.
I would imagine. Do you have any of like the old tabletop ones as well?
We do have some cocktails. We have Warlords, which is a 4-player Pong that you can team up on. It's a really great one. We have Popeye, and then we also have a really rare pinball called the Entertainer, which is a tabletop pinball.
Okay, terrific.
really fun.
You're talking about pinball. How many pinball machines? I think that's something that's kind of making a comeback, isn't it?
Right. So we have 14, I do believe, right now, give or take 1 or 2. And we have a ton of the big titles. So we have a Twilight Zone, Addams Family, Phantom of the Opera. We have a World Cup Soccer '94. So all those big pinballs, and it's just a lot of fun because, usually it's like $1.50 for a pinball, and we keep them around 75 cents, 50 cents. So
That's great, yeah. And pinball, one of those things, I mean, you could play video games and you could do it on your PS4 or your Xbox, but you don't get the pinball feel. I mean, that's different.
The emulated ones just aren't as fun. You don't get the feel. You can't jock it side to side. You get the ball to move to where you want it to. So it's a lot of fun.
Exactly. Quickly here, we got about 30 seconds. What's the free game of the week?
Free game of the week right now is Street Fighter 2, and then we pretty much randomly pick it on Wednesday. So Wednesday morning, check Facebook or our website, and it's usually on there right away.
If you need a tip, then on Street Fighter, they made a movie about it too, just so you know.
Yes.
So you can check that out. I think Raul Julia was in
Yep,
that one.
Raul
Yeah,
Julia.
okay, got it. All right, Kyle here from Geeks Mania Arcade. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
More Talk of the Town right after this here on Channel 57. Back on Talk of the Town and bringing in a familiar face as Eric is here from the Medicine Shop Pharmacy in Monona. And welcome back, Eric.
Thanks again for having me back.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. And today we're talking about medication synchronization. I'm going to read it right off the card. I want to make sure I'm doing it right.
A little bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah,
yes.
medication synchronization. What is that?
Yeah. So it's basically the concept of people that have multiple prescriptions, getting them coordinated so they all come due for a refill at the same time.
Okay.
So instead of having, we have a lot of patients that come in and they'll come in one week and they'll maybe come in later that week and the following week, that kind of thing. And, once in a while we get, we're always here, we're coming in, we like to see you guys. And, but, is there a way to get them synced up or due at the same time? And so that's basically what the program is to coordinate people's refills so they all come due at one time versus multiple times.
So I always thought that was the trick to get you to keep coming back to the pharmacy. Maybe buy some shampoo or some Vaseline or something while you're there, right?
I'm never going to not advocate for that. But as far as prescription goes, it also is important for compliance and making sure people are taking their medications so that things don't get lost in the shuffle or the fray. So,
but besides time saved for the patients, how is it beneficial for them to have it all synced up like that?
So obviously time saving is the big one.
Right.
But then again, I kind of mentioned that it allows them to kind of not have to worry about whether or not they're missing a medication, that they forgot about one. It also allows them, for a lot of insurance companies these days, they allow for 3-month supplies to be filled at a time. And it's sometimes hard for pharmacies to keep that kind of stock, on their shelves at all times.
Sure.
And so it allows them to not have to come into the pharmacy and maybe pick up a portion of that 3-month supply and then have to come back again for the other portion that the pharmacy didn't have. So it's a big time saver for them, and then it kind of takes some of the coordination away from them and puts that more on us.
So the benefits for the pharmacy, so already we got like an inventory kind of benefit.
Yep.
How else does it benefit the pharmacy then to do it this way?
For us also, again, we get graded on our compliance. There's a big push in pharmacy these days to not necessarily reimburse off of quantity of prescriptions, but there's more of a push and a trend going to quality of pharmacy. And what that means is making sure that people are taking the right medication and they're not missing doses, because those missed doses and taking the wrong medications may lead to hospitalizations or other medications. And so it kind of ensures that the medications that your doctors are prescribing, that you're staying on and staying on appropriately. And then also for us, again, so you're not coming in and having to wait a long time when you drop off your refills. Those refills are done for you. So that makes our job a little bit easier to have kind of that workflow issue where the prescription is filled ahead of time, it's done. When you come in, all you have to do is come in and pick up your prescriptions. It's all taken care of for you.
Now, do you try to get patients to do this automatically, or do patients have to enroll? How do they get started with the whole thing?
They have to enroll. It's
Okay.
not something that we automatically do for them because, as you can imagine, if you do start a medication mid-month, there are some situations where we have to fill a prescription for a 2-week supply to get it lined up with everything else. Once in a while, there is a slight, cost associated with that because you might have to pay an extra copay during that month while you're getting them synced up. So it's not something that we automatically do. It's something that, yes, you have to enroll in and accept the program. So.
Okay, so you talk about, there could be some kind of either like an overlap or something like that, so there might be an additional copay. Is there any other cost associated with the program? Like if I say, hey, I want all my medications synchronized here, do I have to pay an extra fee to have that happen?
We do not do that.
Okay.
That is not part of our program. The program itself is completely free. You just pay your copays like you would when you come into the pharmacy to get your refills anyway. So for us, our program that we have at the Medicine Shop is completely free. All you pay for is your medications.
Terrific, and so it definitely sounds really beneficial, if you are someone that has multiple, prescriptions that are out there. How about any pharmacy? Does any pharmacy out there do that, or is it just you guys at the Medicine Shop doing this?
I would always check with them. In other segments, that we've had over, the course of these shows, I can always say what Medicine Shop has available. I think a lot of pharmacies do because, again, it benefits the pharmacy as well as it benefits the patient. And so it's kind of a service level issue. So I would definitely check with your pharmacist if you don't come to the medicine shop to see if they have something like that in place, and then you can get signed up on that program that they have.
Everybody likes win-wins. You always seem to be looking for that win-win situation for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so good stuff. Eric, thank you so much for joining us. Medicine Shop Pharmacy in Monona. Go ahead, check them out. Say hi to Eric when you do, and we'll be back with more Talk of the Town right here on Channel 57. And back on Talk of the Town, we shift gears a little bit here as we're going to talk about some. No, wait, don't pay any attention to the bird on the table. I feel like I'm being upstaged by a stuffed bird here. So we bring in Amanda Keenbaum from the Primrose School, and welcome on in.
Thank you.
So, the Primrose School, what is a Primrose School?
So Primrose is a national high-quality early care and education provider.
Okay.
We have 300 accredited schools across the country.
Oh, wow.
And we serve children, families, and communities, infants from 6 weeks up through pre-kindergarten.
Okay.
And we also have a before and after school program for elementary age children.
Oh, terrific. So now what actually inspired you or motivated you to open up a Primrose School in Middleton?
After a lot of years of experience, essentially, in early childhood education, I became part of Primrose as a director of a Primrose School in Minnesota in 2006.
Okay.
I was immediately impressed with the warm, nurturing environment that Primrose had, and especially their dedication to each individual child and family. They have a way that I really appreciated about balancing learning through play with also a focus on social emotional development. And I knew that was something that I really wanted for my children someday.
All right.
So my husband's from Wisconsin. We moved here knowing that Madison needed something like Primrose School. And so we are opening our school in Middleton. And as parents of 3 young girls, we have a goal to help other parents find an environment that they can feel good about leaving their children at, knowing and trusting that they will be receiving the best possible care.
Yeah, and how you describe it is fantastic. My wife actually teaches 4K in the area, and so, she talks about it all the time and the things that she's trying to accomplish and some of the things that kind of hamper her, as well. So when we're talking about Primrose School, what kind of sets you apart? How are you different than from other early education?
Absolutely. We believe that who children become is just as important as what they know. And that's at the core of everything that we do at Primrose. So we're helping children to develop not only those intellectual skills, but those creative, physical, character, and life skills through our exclusive, time-tested, balanced learning approach. This approach we use in Primrose schools across the country. It's innovative, research-informed curriculum and methods that are proven to actually work. Primrose has been excelling at preparing children for elementary and beyond for over 30 years.
Wow, okay. And so what's some of the curriculum that you actually use as well?
So we use what's called the balanced learning approach. It's found in Primrose nationwide, like I had said, with a purposeful play and nurturing guidance from teachers.
Okay.
To really encourage curiosity, creativity, confidence, compassion. Our balanced learning curriculum includes the classroom equipment, materials, books, and toys, in addition to training and assessment and parent communication. Everything included in our approach is meant to engage children in a learning experience to really foster intellectual, creative, physical, and social emotional development.
I think that's some excellent stuff because a lot of parents are worried about, if I drop my kid off, am I just basically getting a babysitting service? They want their kids engaged, and so that's terrific stuff. By the way, before we forget, who is this friend that you brought here with you?
This is Percy.
Okay.
Percy is the leader of the Primrose Friends. All of our Primrose Friends are part of our character development program that we're utilizing to help make the children comfortable and to help teach them through our balanced learning approach.
Excellent. So how can I actually enroll my kid if I wanted to, or if you're a viewer and you're thinking about it, and why the investment then in the early education?
Well, we'll go with the investment in the early education. So research shows that 90% of a child's brain capacity is developed by the age of 5. So what a child learns and experiences in those first 5 years is essentially creating a foundation for the rest of their life.
That's paramount. And quickly, because we're running out of time, then how do I enroll?
So if you're interested in enrolling, get in contact with me. You can call us at 608-841-1684 or visit our website at primrosemiddleton.com. We are opening this fall, so we would like to share the Primrose experience with you.
Excellent. Amanda, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Talk of the Town right after this. And back on Talk of the Town, and one of the things I really like about hosting this program is that we get to talk to so many different people, and it always helps too when we're talking about events that are going on in the area. I think something that you can get involved with, something to do, something that's a little bit different. And in that vein, that's how we have Lindsay Hebner here from Grace who's joining us, and welcome on in.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And let's talk about your event and with Grace then. It's called Gala on the Green. What are the details behind this?
Well, it's a fairly new event for us at Grace. It's a fundraiser. It's a formal event taking place on Saturday, June 4th at the Janesville Country Club in Janesville. It is not actually out on the green outdoors. It's in the ballroom.
Really? We can't dance and party on the exact green?
No, we try to make it really fun and make you kind of feel like you're outside. We incorporate a couple golf elements because we are out at a country club. But it is a formal night with cocktails and fine dining. There's a silent auction, a live auction. We have a lot of really fun games, including a putting contest. So we do grab people and bring them outside under the lights around 9 p.m. There's about 10 people that'll get to do a final putt off outside, and we all come outside and cheer you on. And then other than that, we have live music from a band called Pink Houses, located outside of Janesville, and they are actually a John Mellencamp tribute band.
That's what I would have guessed, yes. All right.
Yeah,
So
it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And gentlemen, just so you know, I mean, there's some golfing, it sounds like, involved with the putt-off, but women love the occasional formal events. The wives will love it. So,
yes, and
so
the
go
winner
and grab
gets
them.
a large bouquet of roses when they win, and a foursome at the country club.
Oh, terrific. Yeah, good stuff. So
Yeah.
the dollars that are raised for the event, what do they go to support?
Well, they all go to support A Grace. So to give a little bit of background, A Grace is a nonprofit hospice and palliative care agency. We support families and patients when they're at the end of life or they're suffering with a serious or life-limiting illness. So we are a nonprofit. So when you support an event like Gala on the Green, all proceeds are going to go to ensure that patients and families in the community, no matter who they are, what their insurance may cover, that they're able to receive that compassionate end-of-life care that we're able to provide, no matter what their circumstances are.
Terrific. And I've been to the facility in Janesville, which I think is kind of new.
It is.
And the care there and the nurses, everything fantastic.
Good,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, very nice. So tickets, how much are tickets for the event?
Tickets are $100, but $60 of that is actually a tax-deductible contribution to A Grace.
Wonderful, nice,
So
yeah.
you will be able to get an acknowledgement of that donation for every ticket that is purchased. And then we have various sponsorship packages available too if you're looking to bring more people there or get some larger recognition for attending.
Excellent. So how about getting information on this? I know sometimes always hard to do. Where do they go to get
Sure.
information?
I have a secret keyword then. So if you go to agrace.org/events, you'll see all of our fundraising events there, and Gala on the Green will be right there. So you can buy tickets online. You can also call me directly at 608-327-7239 to get more information. Just immediately you can talk to someone in person.
Now, Lindsay, you were saying that this is kind of a new event. How did this event all come together? How did
Right.
this come into being?
Right, so it's only the second year we've had it. We had wonderful success last year and more than 100 people attended. So it used to be a golf outing. We actually always had 2 golf outings, fundraisers for A Grace. One is in Madison and that one is still going on. And we used to have one in Janesville. And when we did open that inpatient facility in Janesville in 2014, we saw a much greater need to engage with the community beyond golfing. We wanted to be able to have an entire evening where we were really able to connect with more people in the community, explain to them a little bit about what's going on at a Grace, just get a little bit more of a chance to talk one-on-one to donors and community members, and a gala seemed the great way to do that.
Absolutely. Sounds terrific. Are there sponsors already associated with the event?
There are. We have some wonderful, wonderful supporters. So the Murdy families out of Janesville is one of our highest level sponsors, as well as Black Hawk Community Credit Union. And then we do have wonderful support from Dean and St. Mary's and J.P. Cullen and many, many more. So they've already contributed to having more than 110 guests attending so far.
Terrific. Sounds like a great night out. Gala on the Green is the name of the event. Lindsay from A Grace, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
You bet, and thank you for watching Talk of the Town right here. We'll see you next time on Channel 57.